I thought I'd do a bit of a, don't really know what to call this, but I've said on the title of the video a bit of a discussion about the Wii U experiences, and also a bit of a Wii U rant. Now, it's not perhaps exactly what you're thinking it's going to be as regards to being a rant. It's not specifically a rant about the Wii U really, because I want to sort of get over some of the positives of my experiences so far, but sort of really going around the Wii U and the haters and all that kind of crap. So before we get on to that stuff, and let me explain to you my experiences so far with the Wii U. Haven't spent a great deal of time on it. Actually switched it on for the first time last night at about, I think it was about 10 o'clock in the evening. I was downstairs and I plugged it into my TV, and actually did it while the missus was watching I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. So obviously I couldn't play anything on the actual Wii U itself on the TV, but I thought, sod it, I'll see what the remote play facilities like, where you can basically transfer the image of the screen onto the Wii U game controller and do everything from there. So I got over the fact of actually setting that up. It didn't take long to set that up, and basically immediately the Wii U started to do an update, which is this update that's going around on the internet as regards to taking hours and hours and hours. I don't understand where those guys are getting their timings from, because it took about, from start to finish on mine, it probably took about 35 minutes, and that was on a pretty poor wireless connection. If it had been upstairs, in theory it would have been a lot quicker. The bandwidth was nowhere near what it could be upstairs, but that may be a server related issue as much as any problem to do with available bandwidth. But it didn't take that long. It took about 35 minutes, guys, so it's not like 4 or 5 hours that you're seeing on the internet, just associated to the US one, and they've changed things on the servers for the update. I don't know, I can't comment on that, but it was absolutely fine in that respect. Okay, a lot slower than Xbox 360 update, but PlayStation 3 updates are pretty slow as well. But anyway, I got that over with and actually went straight into playing Tekken Tag. It's the only game that I've tried so far. I spent about an hour on it last night. Actually started playing it after my missus went to bed, so it was about, I suppose it was about 11:30, 11:45, and I got it all set up, started playing it, and I was really impressed with it, if I'm being honest. Now admittedly this opinion may be slightly subjective, because I haven't really spent much time gaming on my setup downstairs. I went out a few months ago and bought a new Sony LED TV, 55-inch one, and I've been really pleased with the TV. It's absolutely cracking. And when I started playing the console and the Wii U on it, it looked fabulous. It really did look fabulous. Lovely colours, nice and sharp and everything. And I was actually playing on the TV, I wasn't playing on the controller at that point. Now I've got Tekken Tag 2 for the PlayStation 3, and I play it on my Limbo cabinet next door, and you've seen the video for that. I think this game looks better on the Wii. It looks sharper, it looks a lot smoother, even with the blurring on, you don't appear to get any frame rate issues there. It just looks absolutely solid, it really does, and I'm pretty impressed with it, to be honest. So first experiences there as regards to the actual console have been pretty positive. The actual controller, not the Pro controller, but the standard controller with the screen on it, is really intuitive to use, and even though it's really big in comparison to an Xbox 360 controller, for instance, it feels really good in your hands, and it plays really well with it. I am really impressed with it. I've just moving on from that, I've just set it up again downstairs, excuse me, and I've just started playing Tekken Tag 2 again on it, and I've actually switched to the remote play, so I'm using the controller. Now the unit is downstairs, and you'll see here I've got the controller and I'm upstairs in the house and I've got Tekken Tag on it and it's all running. Now it is slightly stuttery in this room. If I go next door into the bedroom and play it, it's absolutely fine. So obviously there are limitations on the distance, but there's a few walls getting in the way between up here and downstairs. I'm pretty impressed with that, to be honest, that I can play it at quite a distance away from the console. I don't know how many meters I am, but I'm quite a few meters. And what you get is when it struggles with the signal, as regards to the link that it's got, it will start to stutter. But it's stuttering here now. It's not very good in here. It's stuttering here. But if I go next door to the bedroom, it's absolutely fine. Okay, the sound there is stopped now, so that's fine. Or stop stuttering, I should say. But it's. So I don't know if you can see that on there. So that's playing remotely, and the console's downstairs plugged into the TV. So I'm pretty impressed with that, really. So that's. Turn the sound down. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with that. That is, I suppose, in my opinion, that's what the PS Vita should have done off the bat. And apparently, it does it with every single game on the Wii U. You can do that with all of them. So that's going to be pretty good, actually, especially if I want to play a game. I'm in the house and I've got a game on downstairs and I go to bed and I want to play a bit in bed. I can do that from here, from the controller, and you can turn the console off and everything from the controller. So that's fantastic. I think that's a real part of the innovation that this new Wii U has brought, in my opinion. So yeah, pretty impressed so far. Haven't played any more games, and it's only really Tekken, and I haven't really played that much on it, but so far so good. I can certainly see me playing this console without a shadow of a doubt. You know, I buy a number of things, I think, yeah, that's great, and I'll toss it away in the drawer. But because obviously all the games are coming out on this console as much as they're coming out on the other two consoles, you know, the Xbox and the PlayStation 3, I will probably start buying stuff now for the Wii U instead. Purely because of things like that. I can make more use of that. You know, that's great when I'm in bed and I'm, you know, it's instead of reading a book or going to sleep, I can play that on the controller for half an hour or whatever. So yeah, I'm pretty impressed with that. I went out today and I bought a new game for the Wii U. I bought Batman, the new Batman game. It's supposed to be pretty good on the Wii U. I'm hearing reports it's supposed to be 1080p native resolution. That's one of the reasons why I bought it, because I just want to see what it's like. I haven't actually put it in and switched it on yet, so I don't know. The first part of the rant really is the fact I went into Game Station and I had all the games out and everything. Obviously it was released in the UK yesterday. And the prices of the games in there were absolutely astronomical. I mean, just stupidly expensive. I can't see them selling any of them off the shelf. I just really can't. Batman was £50, $49.99. I mean, how can they justify selling it for $49.99? I came out of the shop and went onto my phone and went online, and on the game store online, it's 40 quid. It's £10 cheaper. Now there normally is a difference between the store in-store and the price online, but a tenner, I mean, that's like over 20% difference, and I just couldn't believe it. I thought, you robbing bastards. And I thought, I want the game, but there's no way I'm paying an extra tenner for it. I don't mind paying an extra £5, you know, just to get the game today, but I'm not paying £10 extra for the game. And I basically went online on my phone. I went to Costa Coffee, sat down at a coffee, and thought, right, I'll get online and I'll see what prices are going for. And quite a few people from the online stores are doing 40 quid. I thought, oh, bollocks, I'm going to have to order it and wait now for a few more days. And I'm fairly impatient, so I wanted it there and there. But there was no way I was going to spend 50 quid on it. And not because I haven't got 50 quid, but I just refused to spend £50 in store on a game that online is 40 quid. So I went around the various outlets online as regards to where I could possibly get the game from. You know, Blockbusters, Sainsbury's, Tesco, blah 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 blah. and basically, and the install prices were either £50 or online for £40. Last place I tried was Argos, and they were doing it in store for £45. I thought, bollocks, I'll go there and get it. It's on the way home. So yeah, so I did. I got it from there for £45. But I just thought, how can you expect people in the current financial climate to be forking out £50? And that wasn't the dearest. I think Call of Duty was like £53. I mean, it's just astronomical. And online, they so much dearer. I've never seen that much disparity before. I really haven't. So I was pretty pissed with that. That sort of got me back up a little bit. But anyway, I bought it in the end for £45. I just hope it's a good game. I haven't got the Batman Arkham Asylum, is it, for the 360 or PlayStation 3. So it'll be a game that I haven't got at all. So hopefully it'll be. It's worth buying. It's had pretty rave reviews, to be honest, on the Wii U, so hopefully it'll be good. Just to go on really from that, and a bit more of a sort of rant, and really the real purpose of the video is to sort of have a bit of an open discussion, really. You know, feel free to drop me comments or discuss it openly within the comments of the video. Really about a lot of the Wii U haters out there, and I've spent a fair bit of time on the internet recently looking at stuff to do with the Wii U, and I can't help but feel that there's a lot of people out there that are just not realistic, or are just I don't know. You know, everyone should have a view. You know, everyone's got an opinion on things, and I'm not saying I'm right and everyone else is wrong at all. I mean, I'm not saying that. I'm really not. But it's certainly something that's worthy of discussion. And what I'm talking about specifically is about a lot of people saying, look, the Wii U isn't next gen, and I do struggle with that slightly, because what is next gen? A lot of the conversations going around this is that, the graphics aren't as good as the graphics are only just as good as the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3, so how can it be next gen? How blinkered can you be, and how naive can you be, really, in a way? I mean, what I just showed you there with the controller, I think is fairly next gen to me. It certainly hasn't been around prior to this. The PS Vita tried to implement it. I don't think it works at all. I'm not aware that it works, and it's certainly not the same as this. But that kind of thing, to me, can be classed as next gen. It's certainly something that isn't, like I said, isn't actually available prior to the Wii U. But people are concentrating on the graphics. Now, I'm fairly into PC stuff, and I can tell you now, you know, in my opinion, graphics, and again in my opinion, have reached a sort of bit of a plateau. I've never really had a problem with the graphical content, certainly on titles that have been released in the past sort of, I don't know, 18 months, 2 years. Certainly on the Xbox 360. I don't buy that much stuff on the PlayStation 3, so I'll just refer my topic to the Xbox 360 now. I don't actually think that the Xbox 360 stuff is actually really that far behind, in my opinion, at the same resolution. If you look at the same resolution, and I think that's the biggest thing, but if you look at the same sort of resolution as what you get on the PC, yeah, okay, you get more effects on the PC, you know, as regards to new software that's out and new gaming hardware that's out, but does it really make a shitload of difference to the game? Does it really look that much better? In my opinion, it doesn't. If you look at some of the AAA titles on the 360 and the PlayStation 3, and you compare them to the same titles, well, not necessarily the same titles, because they may not be available on the PC, but you look at the PC type games and you lower the resolution, yeah, they look a bit prettier, but nothing that I'd look at and think, Jesus, that blows my brains apart. I've just stuffed over 300 quid, and I don't begrudge doing this, and it's absolutely fine, you know, on a top of the range HD 7970 graphics card. And does it really blow my brains out compared to the graphics card I had in there before, which was getting on for 4 years old? No, it doesn't. It's not a massive leap. So I actually think things are plateaued, and like I said, as regards to the current gen consoles, 360 and PlayStation 3, I don't think that there's an absolute massive disparity apart from resolution. I think resolution makes a big difference in my opinion, and a lot of people will argue with that with regards to their opinion that graphical content is about the effects. I don't wholeheartedly agree with that. I'd rather have a high resolution image and a real high resolution on a PC rather than throwing loads of effects at it. That's my opinion. I prefer to have a nice, clear, crisp, pin-sharp image, and obviously the higher the resolution you go, then in my opinion the less reliance you have on things like anti-aliasing. I just think that people think that the next generation of consoles are going to be so much better than the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. I don't think they will be. I don't think they will be, because for starters they won't be putting current gen graphics cards in them because they just cost too much, you know. That certainly won't be happening. So they're going to be a few generations old, and I don't actually think they'll be that much better. I think the biggest difference to me will be resolution. If all games are 1080p native, that will make a big difference in my opinion, a big difference. So it just pissed me off a bit when people turn around and say, oh yeah, well, it's not next gen because the processor's this and the GPU's that, and I just think it's bullshit. I think people just get sucked in, you know. And I remember back when the PlayStation 3 was launched, or prior to the PlayStation 3 launch, and there was all this bullshit that come out from Sony saying it's like twice or 3 times as powerful the Xbox 360, it's got this, it's got that. What a load of utter bollocks. When that transpired to the actual games that came out, I actually prefer to buy my games on Xbox 360 unless it's a format exclusive that comes out on the PlayStation 3 and I need to buy it for PlayStation 3. There is no discernible difference between the two consoles in my opinion, you know, absolutely no discernible difference. And I think that was a sort of lot of marketing bullshit by Sony, and a lot of people got sucked in by it. So I just think it's utter bollocks, and the fact that Nintendo have played this down a lot about the graphical capabilities means that they perhaps don't get sucked into it, but actually the fact is, right, they've released a console that has got a better GPU, and straight off the bat they can at least match, and in my opinion better, certainly based on the Tekken 2 game that I've played, better consoles that have had 7 years of programming libraries built up for them. I mean, that is pretty big in itself. So people that compare, oh yeah, well those consoles are 7 years old and the Wii U's come out and the graphics are really no much better. Yeah, but that's what they're like now, with the talent and the knowledge that they've got now. Imagine what they'll be like in another 2, 3, 4 years time. It won't really start hitting any honours in my opinion, so they start bringing out some AAA titles for it, which won't be for some time, I wouldn't have thought. It'll be several months before they get used to the console. But you know, like I said, the fact is that they've brought games out and they're easily as good as the current 360 and PS3 releases straight off, you know. And we all know there's a massive learning experience with new consoles with regards to getting the best out of them. So there's certainly more to come with the Wii U. And like I said, I seriously don't think it's going to be all about the graphics on the next round of consoles from Sony and Microsoft. And I really do think that some people, no, strike that, a lot of people will be a bit disappointed, I think, with what the new consoles launch with, as regards to what they can do, you know, as regards to what they can do graphically, because I really don't think it's going to be that much of a bigger step up from what we're at the moment, apart from the resolution. I think the resolution will be, you know, 720 absolute minimum native and hopefully 1080p. The Wii U apparently can do 1080p. Whether or not Batman is 1080, I don't know, but undoubtedly over time we'll see 1080p native games, quite a few of them, hopefully. But yeah, I just want to get that off my chest, because you know, you've got all the fanboys out there, and I don't think I'm a fanboy because I've got several different consoles from the same eras, so I'm not a fanboy. I like everything. I like all consoles. Yeah, okay. Perhaps I'm a bit of a Microsoft boy at heart, and most of my current gen stuff is done on the Microsoft console, because I just think it's better than the PlayStation 3 for what I need it for. But you know, and I've got both. So I'm certainly not a fanboy in that way. But yeah, I just wanted to get off my chest. Feel free to give me your comments and anything you'd like to discuss, guys. Hey, like the video. See you again soon.